Welcome, everyone, to the Holstein House podcast. I'm the West Virginia woman, Robin, of RobinHolstein.com and Holstein House, where my guests get a great night's sleep at a fair rate plus breakfast. This is a podcast that looks at society and culture issues affecting families in West Virginia and the United States, from food preparation and storage, gardening, home repairs, current events, and more. We'll go around the table and back in 60 minutes or less. So let's hang out and talk a while. Good morning. It's Friday, y'all. And I know you just couldn't wait for this Friday. This is the 76th episode of the Holstein House broadcast. It's June the 30th, 2023, in case you're watching this sometime down the road. Today we're actually live today. There have been a few episodes where we've had to pre-record, and next Tuesday we'll be live. The Tuesday after that, I think, is July next Tuesday is July the 4th. I may still do a live on the 4th of July. We'll see. The next Tuesday is the 11th, and we will still have some projects going on over at the church. So that may be a pre-recorded episode. But today we're really live. And on Friday Live Unscripted, for those who may not be familiar with it, we just kind of catch up on things that's been going on here at Holstein House over the past week or so. Catch up on project statuses of things, long-term projects and stuff, the livestock, the ducks and the chickens and the dogs and the cats and all the things like that. I try to answer some questions, if there are any, on running a small B&B from your home, food preparation and storage, current events, and more. It just depends on who pops in and who shares questions and just, what all it comes up in the day. So I am Robin Holstein, and in that introduction, you do hear a little bit about me. I've been, I don't want to say on my own, because when you're married, you're not on your own. But I got married the first time at 17, and I've been keeping house ever since. I'm now 58, so that's that's quite a long time. To be taking care of household and responsible for paying bills and keeping your family fed and clothed. In between, there were births, there were deaths, there were marriages, there were divorces, and now I am happily at my home in West Virginia, Kanawha County, West Virginia, and we share our room in our home through Airbnb and direct bookings. And I like to share that with folks who happens to stop by and see the broadcast today. And later, if you catch it later. But I do enjoy helping answer questions and sharing what little bit of knowledge I have on these topics. If you want to join up, please, like and subscribe and all that stuff after you've watched a little bit. If you want to keep in contact, I ask you to do that. If you have a Telegram account, we have a chat group over there, t.me/Holstein House, where we continue the conversation about keeping house and running a B&B and homesteading and food preparation and all those kind of things that we face from day to day. So we'll get on with that. On Fridays, this is generally an unscripted show, in that I do have some topics and things that I will go over, and but I am less likely to stick hard and fast to the script, if you want to call it a script, as I am on Tuesdays. Right now, I do 2 live broadcasts a week, one on Tuesday and one on Friday. And Tuesdays, I try to be a little more scripted and provide a little more detailed information. I've been going through a series recently on running a small B&B and deciding on whether to run a small B&B from your home or your homestead, and some of the challenges you may run into in doing that. And we have a good time sharing and talking about those things. So today around the house here, really, for the most part, things are not any different than they were on Tuesday. We the porch rails are up. Obviously, they've been up for a full week now, and I am happy. I am not happy at the length of time it took, or having to get so hateful about it in order to get the contract to finish the job, but it is finished and it does still yet appear to be a very good job. So the quality of the work is fine. It just took a little too long for my liking to get that what I feel like is a small job. It took a day for a couple of guys, the contractor and his helper, a full day, and maybe a little more depending on how you as a contractor consider the start of your day? Is it the time you get to the job site, or is it the time you head to work? At any rate, it was finished. He was here about 9:30 last Friday and got it done by about 7 o'clock Friday evening. So that got taken care of. And but it's a good job, and I think it looks very nice. And I shared photos of that the other day. And we're still kind of settling in, getting a few things adjusted where some of the dirt was disturbed, and the pets are having a hard time with this. Wait, what do you mean? There's suddenly a fence around here. I used to be able to jump right off this porch and into the yard. Now I have to go down the stairs. But plus, we've had a lot of rain since then, and it's been hard to enjoy the porch. But it's taken care of. And then the little doghouse roof, that contract is in place, and they're supposed to start working on that next Wednesday, the 5th. So hopefully on Wednesday, the 5th, they will pull in and get started on that. And I'll be fussing about all of that construction and all of the work and all of the aggravation with that as well. So I don't know how long it'll take, maybe a few days. I haven't looked at the long range weather forecast for a little while, so it could be delayed by that, just the fact that it's a roof and the weather. So that affects it a little more than most. Mr. Holstein, you may have remembered, some of you may or may not, he is a keyboard player and has played keyboard. He's professionally off and on for years since he was in high school, I believe. And that was way before we met, but he was playing professionally when we met. And he hasn't played regularly, for years. He has done special benefits with some of the guys that he used to play music with off and on over the years. And he got his friend Bruce Cooper reached out to him the other day and asked him to join him this weekend. Well, not the whole weekend, but on Saturday. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow night, they're playing at a place in Spencer, West Virginia called Shamrocks or the Shamrock. I'm not sure which one it is. It's it's a bar. It's a bar, and they'll be there playing tomorrow night. I don't know if there's a cover charge or anything. I don't know anything about the place, but he'll be there, and I'm trying to decide whether to go. I like to go and support my husband on his projects like this. I enjoy hearing him play. I enjoy just kind of hanging out with everyone. The problem is, and I'm really struggling with this, I have a responsibility to my church, and I want to go support him, but that could mean me not getting home till 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, and then trying to get a little bit of sleep and being in the church by 9 o'clock. Not 9 o'clock, by about 9:30 to get things set up for service. I could do that when I was 28. I just don't know. At 58, I just don't know that I can pull that off. And I also know there's some optics. There are some optics about a church leader being in a bar until 3 o'clock in the morning. That's a conversation for a different day. Really, a detailed conversation for a different day. There are some who believe you should never grace the doorstep. There are some who believe it doesn't matter as long as you're not committing sin. There's some who believe, of course, you can't drink. There's some who believe that you can drink in moderation. And, are you are you sending the wrong messages to the people who are just getting started with their Christian journey and their faith is not strong? It's something that I wrestle with. I personally am of the opinion, I'm kind of skipping. I usually talk about the church stuff later in the program. I tend to believe that if you are if you're strong in your faith, that you can go. I mean, I don't see too many people who attend church not going to Applebee's because there's a bar, and it's not a diss on Applebee, but not going there because there's a bar in the restaurant. If people are that tight about it, they're probably not having much enjoyment in life because you can go to Applebee's and not drink. You know, when we used to have public smoking in restaurants, um, and if you did you not go to a restaurant because they had a smoking section? I mean, we can get we can get messed up in our lives by passing these judgments on people, and having these arguments. And I just don't know that I don't have an issue with it personally. I don't think me going to support him in his work, or in this case, it's not work. He will be paid for it, but it's not work. He's going to help support a friend. I don't think it's a big deal. Personally, I'm not there looking for another spouse or a fling. I'm not looking to get drunk and go take my clothes off and dance naked on the bar. I mean, these things are not part of what I'm going to be involved in. But, you know, does it mean that I support some of the behaviors in the bar? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I think we can get hung up on that. But then what I am really struggling with personally is how effective I'll be at church. Will I do a good job in the job that I'm expected to do at the church the next morning? So I'm really struggling. I would like to go. It's such a long drive that I hate to just drive out for a little while and drive back, because it's an hour or so out there, and so drive out for an hour, sit through a set, drive back home. I mean, it's doable. I'm still debating it, so I don't know which way I'll go, but we'll see. But he is, if you are in the Spencer, West Virginia area, and you know where the Shamrock is, and you happen to swing by there, and to listen to Bruce and then play, my husband Wayne will be on the keyboards. So please say hello and tell him that you heard me suggest that he go, or that you go and say hello to him. It will be fun for him to experience that. So right now, as far as the B&B is going, we don't have guests for this weekend. This being Friday, the 30th of June, but my guests don't book the same day, so it is possible that someone will book for tomorrow. But as of right this moment, 10:15, whatever time it is in the morning, we don't have any guests for the weekend. And that's okay too. I enjoy some downtime. I don't have a staff. I don't have a lot of people, so all of the work that gets done is done by me. I change the beds. I change. I do the laundry for the guest laundry, and all of these things I take care of. If there are special dishes or special things provided, I'm the one that takes care of that, and I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy it. It's just that it all falls on me. So the housekeeper that I had, I don't know why it's so difficult. It shouldn't be, but I'm looking for a new housekeeper. I'm looking for a new housekeeper. I enjoyed having her here, but like well, the previous girl was her granddaughter, and the granddaughter had these life things that came up, and I can't do this promise job for you because of life, and the housekeeper had the same thing. There was a couple of times that she just didn't show, and then she would ask me later, "Do you want me to come now?" And it's like, this is when I needed you to be here for a reason. There's a reason, you know. And I try not to be mean and stuff, I just told her, I said, I don't know. It's got to work. And right now, this is not working. And I know I'm not saying that she was making up things. I don't think she was. She does have a lot of things going on as well as her granddaughter did, and or may still. But I need somebody who's going to be here, so I'm going to probably just reach out to a service here pretty soon and see about getting that for a period of time. So I will be. There's some things that I'm still trying to take care of. I've been changing out some of the window blinds. The window blinds that we put up here when we moved here, they're not expensive blinds, but but they're starting to show their age. They're the PVC mini blinds, and some of the um, cords are fraying, and they're fraying up where they stay fastened the most. So if I tried to knot them, put a knot in them so that, then I couldn't use them fully or they wouldn't go down fully. But there are some cordless ones at the store that I've come across, and I got the wrong length on one of them, so I'm trying to swap some of those out. They're not exceptionally expensive. It's not like going to that a specialty blind manufacturer and getting them made, but to get all of the windows here in the house done at one time, it's kind of costly. So I can't do them all at once. So I'm doing them one at a time. It's not difficult, but the age of this house makes it a challenge. Some of the previous owners did some patchwork in, like when they did replace the windows, they put a different size in than what was originally here. And so instead of doing the job right and putting a full piece of wood, say in the top of the window, they put a little scrap piece of something here. And that makes it harder for us because now we're looking at, well, we could try to put in a full piece of wood up there, which would be the right thing to do. But these windows are starting to reach the end of their life, so maybe I should start considering getting new windows. Won't happen this year because of the front porch rails that were almost $3,000, and the doghouse, which is going to be, 7 or 8. The roof on the doghouse will be 7 or 8. So there's going to have to be a project for next year or the year after. I'll just have to, get the money together for it and take care of that. But I'm replacing those. I've been working on that this week. Had a lot of interruptions. Small, really interruptions, but things that take you out and away. So you're not, anytime I have to leave the house, you're talking at least a half hour just for driving. So, if I'm running to Walmart, you figure, it's not really a 15-minute drive, but it's going to be half an hour I'm gone anyway. So, and then you try to get back and try to get settled and all of those things. But I did have a couple of trips into town I had to do this week, and that kind of shuffled things up, and I didn't get everything done that I wanted to. And that's okay because that's that's life, isn't it? That's life, isn't it? So I'm also working on formatting the layout of the program. Uh, I did that before, and I thought I had it, and now I don't think I have it right the way I want it. So if I'm jumping around a little bit, that's why I've shuffled some things around a little bit. So on my notes that I have like a broad outline, but I have moved categories around or the outlines around several times, and I've got just big gaps and stuff that I'm trying to deal with and trying to shuffle stuff so that I'm not too spammy. Spammy. I don't want to be spammy. But so yeah, I do have a guest coming next week. She's actually coming. She's arriving on the 4th of July, which is Independence Day here in the United States. We celebrate our independence from England, and it's a big thing here. As most countries when they have national celebrations, it is. But we do have a guest. She's on her way to Washington, D.C., and I did not ask her what for, but she's going to arrive on the 4th, and she's going to stay over and head out to D.C. on the 5th. Now, I'm not trying to discourage anyone from stopping here during their travels, but my experience trying to get to the D.C. area from anywhere in West Virginia is just insane. If you go up to Morgantown and across 68 down into the Jefferson County and down into Washington D.C. that way, it's like 6 hours. If you go from here to Virginia and up that way, it's like 6 hours. It's a hard little spot to get to from West Virginia, and that's just the way it is. But she'll be coming and staying on her way, so I make sure the room's all ready for that, which I always do. The room's already turned and it's ready for guests to show up just about any time during the slow period or the low months, which some people call it. I do. Sometimes I'll cover the bed with a larger sheet or something because we'll go, especially along the holidays, because I tend to close off if my son's coming in, if we're having family events and dinners and things, I will close off the calendar through the holidays. And in some instances, some people have a home or a structure or building that the holiday times makes it perfect to keep that calendar open. Here it's a little different because of the structure of our home. We're sharing the one room, we're sharing it with folks. And if my son is coming in and needs a place to stay, one of the things that I want to try to do with the doghouse is situate it so that it could potentially be either a rental property or a B&B property. I also would like to set our camper up so that we can share it. Now, sharing the camper would be a little different. It's not going to be glamorous. Okay, it's going to be, just somebody who needs a place to stay. You're not looking to sit on the front porch. You're not looking for a fire pit in the backyard. You're not looking for any of that. You just need a place to stop. The camper where it could be located is on a lot with a garage where, there would be water and electric and all those things. But I haven't quite got that worked out yet. I would like to do it because it just sits there. It doesn't make me any money. So I would like to do that, and sharing it's always an option. It's always an option. So we've got that. We've got the guests coming on next week for Independence Day. Will I have a cookout? We usually do. I may opt to have it on Monday instead. I'll have to think that through. We usually do cook out and invite family and friends over. With the holiday falling on Tuesday, it just may be, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see about that. Mama Duck, for those of you who know, Mama Duck, her ducklings are about 7 weeks old now, and they are, to me, they look just almost full size. Just almost full size. They still have some filling out to do. Their feathers are still that juvenile color, grayish, and a few speckles of white. Their undercarriage is turning not a dark brown, but brown, kind of like their mama. I'm starting to think I have a male in that batch. The way their voices have changed or not changed makes me think I think there's at least one male in there. I wasn't so sure up until this morning. And the Drake that we do have, the daddy of all of these ducklings, he chases them. He just chases them. He runs them back in, and we talked about that on Tuesday, and that it may be just territorial behavior. And so I'm blocking him off a lot through the day in the front part of the yard. But those ducklings have got to get themselves out of there. They have got to get out into the rest of the yard. I may start slipping in there and blocking the run a little and forcing them to explore more of the yard and to run further in the yard when he's chasing them, to be out in the yard instead of running back into the coop and hiding in there. Um, I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that yet, but I'm starting to think one of them is a male. The tail is not curly, but the voice is not quacky. It doesn't have the quack that the mama duck does. There's the other ones do. There's just one that I'm just not sure about. So, in the meantime, mama duck has laid another clutch of eggs in my hostas. I have some hostas on the side of the house. They're pretty overgrown. They really needed to be separated years ago. And there's a Kayla lily that comes up as well there. And it's a decent little spot as far as shade and camouflage, but it's not secure from predators. So if we do have fox and we do have coyote in the area, and we do have possum, or not possum, we do have raccoon. We have possums too, but we do have raccoon, and that is a dangerous spot. That is a dangerous spot. So but she has moved them around in the little nest, but she's not staying on them. So she may not be finished laying yet. She is coming off the nest at night and going back into the coop. So she's sitting on it all day and coming off of it at night. And I'm thinking this doesn't sound right. Um, Even when she was before she hatched the ducklings, if she laid eggs, she didn't stay on them all day. It wasn't until she started hiding them to brood to raise this first batch of ducklings back in the spring that she she stayed on them. She stayed on them at night and then come out during the day. Um, but then she got to the point where she stayed on them 24/7. Now, when she gets to that point is when I'm probably going to move the nest. I will risk it because I'd rather risk moving the nest than risk having her killed and losing all the eggs. So I have a plan to do that, but I haven't got all the pieces together. And plus, if she's not laying on or sitting on the nest, it's kind of moot anyway. Because if she's not sitting on the nest, they're not incubating. I mean, you know. So at this point, the last count I had, there were 8 eggs, and I'm pretty sure she's laid some more on there. Now she hatched. How many eggs did she have last time? She had 8 eggs last time, but I had taken some out. So before I realized what she was doing, she was burying the eggs in the litter in the coop, and I was thinking, what's going on here for about 3 days. I was taking the eggs out, and then I thought, wait a minute, I know what's happening here, and then I left them alone, and she ended up nesting on them. She hatched 6, 2 of those died, and so we have 4 ducklings. But I'm not the last count. Last I could see there were 8, so I don't know. She was limping yesterday evening too. So I don't know. She wasn't limping this morning though. She was limping when she went in the coop for the night. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. I'll move the nest if she gets to where she's sitting on them. Otherwise, I'm not sure how long to wait to decide whether just to take them all up or not. I don't know. I don't want an incubator. I don't want to try to do that, but we'll see. The backyard garden. I have a container garden in the backyard. I have my tomatoes and peppers, sweet peppers, not hot peppers, sweet peppers, and green beans. The green beans finally started coming up, but the dumb groundhog is eating them, and I'm going to have to cage that off. I was hoping that the darn little varmint would leave him alone. I should have known better. They got started. One of the neighbors has been feeding the groundhogs for a long time, And last year, my container garden didn't do well. I put it in a different part of the yard, and this year it's doing much better, except for the groundhog. The groundhog ate a bunch of the leaves off and bit a few of the branches on the green beans in the last couple of days. I want to think it was last night, but I didn't look closely at them yesterday, so it may have been the day before or the night before as well. And if this is just it's just that's just frustrating for me. It's frustrating for anybody who's trying to grow a garden. But I hate to bother groundhog, but I just, I'm not growing this for your dinner. So leave my garden alone. Stay out of Mrs. McGregor's garden. Tomatoes and peppers, though, are coming on. I did take a few cherry tomatoes off the backyard garden this morning. I think three. Ooh, three of them were turning red, looking good. Wanted to grab those before the chickens and the ducks got them because they were down low enough that both of those little turds could get to them. So, and chickens will jump and eat the vegetables. So, hopefully they'll take off pretty soon and just they're really kind of bushy instead of they're not they are vines, but they're more wide than they are tall. And so that's a frustration to me. Well, we're about halfway through this morning. We didn't have a lot going on today. I have tried to dial back the pushing or the promotion, I guess, if you want to call it that, for Holstein House. But here, if you are traveling, and like I said, I do host out of my home. If you are traveling the West Virginia Turnpike or Interstates 6477 through West Virginia, and you are looking for a place to stop overnight or stop for a couple of nights if you're coming to any of the festivities this summer, consider Holstein House. If you go to robinholstein.com and look at Holstein House on the menu, you have the option to direct book or use Airbnb. We accept either way. You will save a lot more money if you direct book than if you use Airbnb, but you're fine. It's fine to do that. We've been with Airbnb since 2017, and we've done just fine that way, and it's perfectly acceptable for you to use that. We do have a couple packages if you direct book that you can get only there. We do have some promotion codes that are only available for direct book guests. So if you want to check those out, go to robinholstein.com. Now, some things to do around Holstein House coming up. The Charleston Stern Wheel Regatta kicks off this weekend. Actually, kicks off this evening, and the regatta it's like a street festival, and there's concerts and there's games and there's food and there's all kinds of stuff. It's a really good time. They used to have the regatta. It ran for years. I don't think 15 or 20 years in a row, and then I don't know what happened. They didn't have it anymore. And then they brought it back. Last year, I think, was the first year of it. And this will be the next year of it starting. It's going to go through the 4th of July, I believe, the 4th of July. There's also in Huntington. Now, Huntington's about an hour from us. The Heritage Farm and Museum Summer Festival is happening. And in Fairview, which is close, just outside of Ripley, there's the Fairview 4th of July Festival. There's the Hurricane Independence Day celebration coming up on the 4th of July. Then following that, on the 14th and 15th, there is the Friends of Charity Auto Fair in Beckley. Beckley's about a 45-minute drive. Hinton's a little further than Beckley. It's a good little drive from here, but the West Virginia Water Festival is happening down there on the 28th and 29th of July. And it sounds like it's going to be a good time. On the 29th, back in Huntington again, is the West Virginia Hot Dog Festival. That's going to be fun. Hot dogs are a favorite food in West Virginia. And here, a lot of us like it with chili and slaw. Now, some folks a little north of me call it chili and sauce, but no, it's slaw and sauce. But no, it's chili and slaw. So that's what I like. That's what I called the Perfect Hot Dog, has chili and slaw. Then in Nitro, which is about a half hour from here, there's the Mad Fest at Ridenour Lake. That's on the 29th. And those are just a few of the things that are going on in the area this month in July of 2023 around Holstein House. So, let's see. I'm still working on some workshops. I have not been able to put a lot of time in on them this week because of just the hecticness that happened this week. But there are workshops for our John 2117 project that we're having, kind of like lunch and learn programs. I'm trying to put together a starting sourdough workshop. The challenge is to have everything and have examples of things and get everything together. Putting the materials, the print materials and the instructions and all that kind of stuff together is no big deal. It's making sure that I have some sourdough starter to share, then some samples of flours and things like that, and information to share, and keeping that within an hour or so is going to be a challenge for sourdough. So that probably won't be the first one I do. I'm also going to do one on milk, from milk to yogurt to cheese. That will look at some of the ways you can take. I don't like to call it leftover milk because that kind of sounds like old. But if you are, if you were buying milk and you want to use it before it goes bad, or if you just want to make yogurt or cheese, a workshop on doing that, and I need to get that honed in. And then I think I'll do one on sprouting seeds. And all of these will also offer the participants some things to take home. So sprouting seeds, I would have some jars and some stands and some mesh, or the plastic to make the mesh, and make it a hands-on workshop. That I think would go a little better, but that they would be able to take home with them and keep. So those aren't the best titles either, so I'm going to work on that a little bit and try to get those together so that I can fill in some blanks. We have some gaps that I need to fill for the calendar for the John 2117 project, and I think that those will be 3 good ones that will be able to help with that. These are programs for folks. They're open to the community, so anyone can participate and attend. And uh, it's hard to gauge the interests and stuff at this point, but we'll see how that works. And I'll keep you posted on that. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you would like to leave a comment and share with me your ideas or your thoughts. Have you ever tried any of those? Would you be interested in them if you haven't? What your major questions would be on those topics. If you had no idea of how to do them, what would you like to know? And what would help you? What would interest you enough to want to attend one? Now, I know not everybody who's going to see this is going to be in the area for them, but if you had one offered in your area, what might interest you enough to attend a workshop like that? I don't have my Bitcoin wallet yet. Sorry about that, fellas. I know some of you guys are wanting to know. I want to get the Cold Card wallet, and I just haven't done it yet. I may be able to get that this week. I may be able to get it ordered. I think it's backlogged. I think there's a there that it takes a while to get them once you place your order. So I want to get that. I really would like to get that done sooner rather than later, and it's just a matter of being able to get it done. In theory, I could sit here and do it right now, but in practice, it's not going to happen. All right, let's see. Where are we now? Questions on running small B&B, food prep and storage, current events, and more. I don't have, like I said, I am shuffling some of my outline today so that I don't have it all smoothed out and flowing. I'm going to probably, I'm just one of these people that really needs to have things printed. I don't like the monitor. I I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because of the age that I am, and I was raised up with paper and pencil and pen, but I just feel like I need hands-on when I'm drafting things like this up. So it's kind of frustrating for me to try to draft things up on a screen, computer screen, because I can't see the whole page. I can't see multiple page. I can't spread them all out around me and look, this way. It just doesn't work for me. I I don't have the multiple screen things on, I, just so I don't have that. But um, I do need to get this outline dialed in some more. It's not working the way it was. So I want to get that straightened up. Let's see. We do publish a podcast. We take the audio from this broadcast and we do upload it to fountain.fm and a multitude of other podcast applications using Podbean. Now, you should be able to download this on iHeart and TuneIn and Apple, Podbean, of course, FM, or Fountain.fm, and just about any other of the podcasting apps. If you tried and you can't, please let me know in the comments, and I will see what the hangup is. As far as I'm aware, when I checked those, when I set them up, they were working just fine. And as far as I'm aware, they're still out there and they're still working. People do hear them. I do check the analytics on them, and people are downloading and listening to them. If you want to comment on one of those podcasts, please do. And if you have commented and I haven't replied, it's probably because the application has not notified me that you have a comment there. There may be a hang-up, maybe a piece of code that's tangled up. Maybe I keyed in the email address incorrectly or something. Who knows? But you can always go to robinholstein.com and choose the contact page, and you can contact me that way. You can also find me all the other social platforms that I have accounts with if you want to see if your preferred social networking platform is one that I have presence on. If you are a fan of Bitcoin and you would like to reserve a room and pay with Satoshis, I am more than willing to work that out with you. You can also go to robinholstein.com and use the contact page to ask me about that, and we'll work that out. I would send you a QR code. You could make your payments. I'll block the calendar for 24 hours only, because in 24 hours you should be able to pay that QR code invoice with Satoshi, and you will get a 15% discount off the room rate in doing so. But again, I would only block the calendar for a period of 24 hours. If you had not paid your reservation by that 24-hour period of time, the calendar will be opened back up to anyone. So if you want to do that, I'm not opposed to accepting Satoshis for your room. Now, one of the packages that I do offer is a chocolate and coffee package. Now, this is for direct book only, and you can enjoy a special in-room treat of Hall's handcrafted premium chocolates and in your room, and a serving of Almost Heaven whole bean coffee roasted by Cold River Coffee Company here in the Kanawha Valley, just about half an hour, 45 minutes from me. This is on-site breakfast only, and it's a package that's being offered through the end of the year. So if you direct book, you can choose from that package as well. Our promotional code Indy10 ends tomorrow. July 1st is the last day you can use that promotional code in your direct book here at Holstein House. We'll get you 10% off your stay. Now, if you're paying by Bitcoin, the 15% is that you can't add the 10% to get 25% off. It's a 10% straight up. The Indy10 is for those who are paying by US fiat dollars. And it's good for your stay through July the 6th. So you can book your room. It would have to be booked by midnight tomorrow, midnight July the 1st, and for your stay between the second now, since that would be over, it would be the second, any of the dates until the 6th of July that are available. So go to robinholstein.com and check that out. We also have some merch over on the Etsy shop. It's holsteinhouse.etsy.com if you want to go over there and check that out. We've got some t-shirts. We got some coffee mugs. I got one of the mugs right here. Dun, da, da, da. We have this one, and we have our unconventionally diverse mug, which shows the little footprints of humans and ducks and chickens and cats and dogs, because that's what we have here in our family. And I've got a couple of other little things on shirts and stuff over there that are fun, that you may find interesting and might want to purchase. So that's holsteinhouse.etsy.com. Well, oh, here's something. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Daggone, I was going to mention this straight off the bat. This is episode 76. Well, episode 100 is only 7 weeks away. 7 weeks away. So that puts it at, let me look at the calendar real quick. This is Friday, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. The 18th of August, I believe, will be our 100th episode. If we keep going at 2 live episodes a week, then I need to decide what kind of a party we're going to have online here for our 100th episode. I'd love to hear what you think, what you would like to see, or what kind of goodies we can do, what kind of celebrations. If you are a podcaster, or if you are a YouTuber, or if you are on Noster, or any of these little fun places that I'm on, Fountain.fm, or any of the other programs, if you happen to participate in those and you have your own show and you'd like to contribute and promote yourself a little bit, we can do a special giveaway for something if you want to donate that. I'm not making any money off of it. I'm not big enough. I don't have a following at large enough that I can be monetized on YouTube, and that's fine too. It's not about the money. But I do have a lightning address that if you want to send me some sats that way, it's all well and good. You can send sats through Fountain.fm, and if you're ever on Noster, you can zap me over there. My pub key is in the show notes, so you can go there and zap away any value you'd like to share with me. I know some folks will do those super chats and stuff over on YouTube, but I don't qualify for any of that stuff. So we can use sats. That's better anyway. I like it a lot better anyway. And you can that'll help me when I get my cold wallet. There you go, cold card wallet. I do have a link. My friend over in Telegram and FM and Fountain.fm, Ronaldo sent me a link that I do need to read on an Airbnb. He says, "Good morning, Robin. I came across this Bitcoin Airbnb. Thought you might find it interesting." So it is an Airbnb that accepts Bitcoin, and what he's wanting to do is he wants me to read about it because I'm wanting to be able to incorporate Bitcoin more in my Airbnb, and I'm going to read on that and figure out exactly how that's going to work, because I would rather direct book with Bitcoin than I want to get away. I don't mind. I pay for a server. I pay for a web domain. And I pay, all of this with the email stuff. I don't like paying an additional person more, or corporation, I should say, in addition to this. So when I talked about this on Tuesday, what you're actually paying out when you book through an Airbnb or something like that. Now I get it. You're getting some security, a little bit of security. You're getting you the place you're staying has been oh, what's the word I want to say? Certified's not the word I want to use. I'm blanking out on the word I want to use, but verified, and you can read some reviews and stuff like that and feel a little more comfortable that you're not going to some made up place that you show up and it's an empty lot down in the city somewhere and you've been cheated, but or you go in and it's an unsafe location, so you feel a little more comfortable using the middleman, the Airbnb middleman. And I have to, I started out there and it helped me, like training wheels, but eventually those need to come off. So I take direct book as well. But let me share with you and I did share this on Tuesday. If you booked a room with me, this is from my last guest. These are the numbers from my last guest. My last guest paid $72.16 to Airbnb to stay here at my place. Of that $72.16, that didn't come to me. I did not make $72.16 from that person. There were $7.30 of B&O taxes, occupancy taxes that came out of that money, and $8.02 of service fees that she paid. In addition, her money paid $1.71 host service fee and $1.16 in nightly rate adjustment. Well, no, the $1.16 nightly rate adjustments came off the top, but she paid an additional $1.71 host service fee. Now it says host service fee, but I didn't pay that. That came out of the money that she paid me. So I cleared $55.15. So out of $72.16 that she paid, I received $55.15. Those other fees, that other money, that other $9.71 went to Airbnb, for providing the connection and the things that they provide in the background and supporting some causes and activities that I don't really support, but and I cannot support them by taking direct bookings. And I get it. I get it. Sometimes it's easier, and that's fine too. But you can save almost $10 by direct booking. And part of that, and it may not be cash, but what you're going to get, there are things that my direct book guests get the options of that Airbnb they don't get on Airbnb. I'm going to fix. They're going to have the option for special breakfast. Maybe they don't want it. That's okay. It's not added. It's not an additional charge. So they will get the opportunity to have that prepared for them where they wouldn't on going through Airbnb. So that's another reason for the direct book. And it's when you try to run your own small bed and breakfast, there are a lot of things to consider. And on Tuesday's shows, I'm trying to focus on some of those topics. And we've talked about pets and we've talked about business structures for your B&B. And we've talked about some other challenges and things that you may have that, and there'll be a few more, in the series as we go. So go back and check some of the previous videos that I've done on previous live recordings that I've done to see about some of those topics and share your questions if you have them. We're winding down, so there's all kinds of things I could share with you again, but they're in the show notes today. In the show notes, you'll have a direct link to the Holstein House Bed and Breakfast direct book site. You'll have a link to my Lightning address if you want to, do a little value for value sharing there. The Telegram group t.me/Holstein House. The link is in there. My Nostr pub key is there. A link to my books on Amazon. A couple of my links may have been broken before because I was doing a replace all in a couple of things, and it caught up, and it caught some of the links that are in the show notes, but I think I've got those all straightened up. The Etsy address is on there. Everyday Upcycle is a book that I wrote. Nursery Rhymes My Grandma Told Me is a book that I wrote. 25 Favorite Home Cooked Recipes is a book that I wrote that's out there. And a link to my book, Think Outside the Office. That was written in 2010. It's pretty out of date by now, but it's still one of those print on demand kind of things. So you can get it if you want it, but it's kind of out of date. And there's some links to my other social media sites out there as well. So again, today, we just kind of talked about catching up some things from the week, where we are now on some projects, answering questions, and on running a small B&B, some food prep. Well, we didn't do a lot of food prep and storage today, but we did talk about the upcoming workshops that I'm going to do for the church. I haven't talked a lot about the church, but I'm still working on the class, the certified licensed minister class through the Methodist Church. Now, one of the things I like to do is kind of like a little disclaimer that when I'm talking about religious things, that I'm coming from my personal view. I'm not representing the United Methodist Church. I am a member there. I'm taking some classes. I'm a lay servant there, but these are my personal views when I get into those conversations about religion and practicing my Christianity and following Christ and things of that nature. So it's not as a representative of the Methodist Church at all. I do have class, have a big homework assignment, if you want to call it a big assignment to get finished up. It's on a sermon that we've been asked to do on a couple. We've given the option of a few topics, and I've got mine chosen, and we've got to do the full sermon along with the order of there's an ad in here, the order of worship and all the music and stuff, which I do anyway for the church that I attend. And I also have to get the Bible study subjects and stuff lined up for the month of July. I get the newsletter put together and out. So it's going to be a very busy few days for me. And I got to get all that, like I said, I've got to get all that stuff published and out to the church community so that they know what's going on, and get everybody caught up. We took off this week. We didn't have Bible study or the lunch and learns this week. The young lady that was doing the topic for the week was on vacation. So we thought, well, we'll just take off. And I managed to backfill that time with a whole lot of stuff. So it kind of doesn't even feel like I've had time off yet. But I'm going to wrap it up there. We're almost 58 minutes in, and that's a good spot to stop. By the time we get this all finished up, it'll be right at an hour, and I like to kind of stay right at an hour. So if you have enjoyed today's episode, please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up, like and subscribe, depending on the social media platform that you're on. Share it out, let everybody else know that it's out there, and hopefully we'll get some videos done this week that we can get up this not live. No, I shouldn't say not live, but yeah, do some videos that on topics this week instead of live ones. So I thank you for joining me, and I look forward. Have a great and safe weekend. If you're doing any traveling, be careful out there and take your time, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. So there you have it. Post your comments, do all that boosting, liking, sharing, thumbs up, and stuff that helps spread the word and poke the algorithms. Follow me on most of the big social media platforms and look for my name, Robin Holstein, or Holstein House. Till next time, bye-bye.